My story starts with me growing up in a Christian home. I grew up in a Christian home, and parents loved the Lord. They went to church every Sunday, went to Christian school. They owned a Christian bookstore for 11 years, where we serviced pastors and churches in the valley. And we loved to be a part of what God was doing. But when I got into college, I never really had a streak of turning from the Lord or straying from the Lord. But I got into college, and I just had this time where I was like, God, there's got to be more. I got to this point where I just said, God, okay, I need to know if you're real, and if you are, what are you like? Before, I was just kind of like running, trying to do my best. Like, okay, I'm just gonna try not to sin and love people, but like I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And now I feel like every day or every week I wake up with the vision of the Lord because of what He's spoken, either currently or in seasons past or years past. And I look and I go, man, God, you have set an arc over my life. You set a picture over my life of you're going to be this type of man. You're going to be this type of husband. You're going to be this type of father. And this is who I've made you to be. And this is how I've handcrafted, hand-designed you. And a lot of those words, they made sense in the moment, but there was plenty others that they were spoken over me. I'm like, I don't really get this. And then here I am 4 years, 5 years later, and it's like, oh wow, God, you were speaking so far ahead, but you were preparing a way, and you're putting a word in there that I would begin to carry and own until it came to fruition. And it's just like, hearing the voice of the Lord is like the gateway to stepping into the promises of God for our lives, and it has been that way for me. I remember, 2 years ago, I'm sitting in Colorado, worshiping with a bunch of Antioch members, and we're just having a great time. In the middle of it, God's just like, Stephen. I'm like, yeah, God? He goes, I'm going to tell you where you're going in 2 months. I was like, wait, why not now? But he's like, I'm going to tell you where you're going in 2 months. And September rolls around, and knowing me, I'm totally distracted and have not even remembered this word. I'm sitting listening to Travis preach, just on a regular Sunday, and once again, the voice of the Lord jumps in, and he's like, hey, Stephen, there's like 2 days left in September, and you haven't sat down and asked me where you're going. I was like, oh no, I'm terrible. I'm not a very good steward of this thing. He's like, no, I just want you to come spend time with me. And so I went and I sat down with the Lord and sought Him, and I was thinking I'd have to do all this work or like muster up some holiness, or I don't know, I'm like, this is a big deal. He's about to speak where I'm going for the rest of my life or something. And he, sure enough, I sit down, and within just a few minutes, a still small voice comes in, and he's just like, Stephen, you're going to go to Cambodia, and you're going to help end human trafficking through a church planting movement. And he began to unpack what that looked like for me, of what does it look like to bring a church planting movement to Cambodia. And ever since then, my hands have just been like, okay, God, yes, amen. Like, whatever you speak, I want to be a yes to that. I want to give myself to your word and to what you're doing. And so here we are. My wife and I are now hopefully about 1.5 years out from going. We're working on building a team out of this church to go and to change Cambodia and see the lost saved, and see people who've never had the chance to hear the good news here, and ultimately to just reproduce what He's done in us, which is to bring to people the story that God speaks, and He knows them, and He loves them, and He cares about them.